Hey guys, so I'm Dr. Dawn Heiman, and real quick, we're going to get right into this. This is my way of going through CounselEar from the beginning of a new patient visit all the way to the end of actually billing for services or even products. This was a recording of during one of my mastermind groups, so enjoy. Bye-bye. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start from the moment that you're going to make someone an appointment, right? So we're going to do a test person. And okay, so let me stop for a second. So we have all of these different types of appointments, okay? And I only have some of them flagged under, in CounselEar, under administration and under like clinic items, like scheduling. I have some of them checked as they count towards, let me show you, so that they count towards conversions, okay? So let's go to administration. We're gonna go to schedule appointment types, okay? And in here, if we look at administration time, is it an opportunity? No. Audio HAE? Yes. Audio only? Yes. Block? No. By the way, some of these blocks, like let's say you go into block, if you guys have acuity scheduling set up, make sure that you have these things set. Sometimes you can put a block in your schedule and it's okay to override because, oh, a patient needs to be seen. And other times you're like, no way, man, I am not going to presently be there. And I don't want acuity scheduling to let somebody have an appointment during that time. So you can choose when you create a block as to whether or not there's a compete block or a non-compete block. Non-competing means nobody can override it. It's like there's a patient there, okay? In here also is where you would click opportunity. So this is an opportunity to dispense devices. So you go through every type of appointment. I'm just going to close this door. Every type of appointment and decide whether or not it's going to ping you and count towards your opportunities so that you have an efficient system of knowing whether or not your conversion rates are good or bad. Hold on a moment. Does that make sense? So don't get too liberal with this. Because every time you have like a demo or a clean and check and it counts as like an opportunity and then you didn't convert them, that is a ding against you in the percentage, and it kind of screws up if you're following that widget. So if you guys don't know, there's a widget on the dashboard that can be for opportunities, and it looks at your conversion rates. It can create your average sale price is there, what is open, what's not, all that kind of stuff, okay? So I have audio HAE, yes, audio hearing aid adjustment, could be old hearing aids or whatever, audio blah, 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 okay? Clean and check with audio, I have that as an opportunity. And just plain old hearing aid eval. Let's say they brought their audio from an ENT office down the street and they want to buy hearing aids from me, you know? Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to the schedule. We're gonna go back to tomorrow or yesterday. And okay, so I'm gonna create an appointment for myself. I have my own test person here, and I'm gonna do an audio HAE on her. And this is just a follow-up. She found us, right? Okay, so let's hit save. Okay, now here's the story. When I start an appointment, if I want everything to be completed and everything's just clean, 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 like at the end of my schedule, I should be able to see everybody's like not confirmed on this screen. I want it to say completed. So in spite of the fact that you just looked at someone's questionnaires and all that, whatever, you don't want to just go to the appointment within their chart. You want to come back to the schedule and you want to go straight to chart note. So this way you get credit for the fact you're like in their chart from this appointment. So later on, it'll allow you to down here complete and confirm and stuff. So I go here real quick. Why are you here? I can click if I want to import their history. So that real quick, I've got some stuff. I can modify this and say patient reports, decreased hearing. And I'm going to come back to this later on. So now I'm going to go to main screen because I'm asking them like, look, I'm going to, okay, great, you're having problems hearing, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. The first page, this is chart notes. I went straight to that just because I want everything to synergize. But the first page is general information. On here is where this is an opportunity because it's an audio HAE, and we'll get to this later. Everything that I do moving forward, I'll be able to auto calculate and see, you know, what procedures I've done and what diagnosis codes it's choosing for me. Otherwise, it can override it if it doesn't make sense, you know. So I'm going to go to the next tab, and we're just going to move across these tabs, okay? The next tab, I'm asking them in general, and this is where the diagnosis codes are going to be pulled from. If their major concern is tinnitus, you want tinnitus. If their major concern is misophonia, you're going to use here. First thing I'm going to do is say chief complaint. And for her, it was decreased hearing. Was it bilateral? Is it sudden? Is it whatever? So usually it's bilateral gradual. Did they say they have tinnitus problems? Yes. And it's intermittent in the left ear, let's say. Okay. So CounselEar is going to keep track of this for you. So you don't have to do this higher order thinking for your diagnosis, which is kind of nice. They had some episodic positional vertigo. They've had some unsteadiness, giddiness, you know, it's constant, who knows what, whatever. So we'll put that in. You can also real quick go up to here and say denied oral fullness, blah, 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 right? Put that there for a moment. However, you can edit this because she did say she had tinnitus, but she denied oral fullness. She did say she has vertigo, so we're going to take this one out. But no noise exposure, no ear history, and no family history of hearing loss. Okay, so this is just easier for you to really quick get through your history and get the important stuff in. You can always go back and edit later. Now I'm going to click export to reports so that all of this goes into the next folder, and it's already started my history from what I've pulled. And I want this stuff here because I want it for my diagnosis codes. But I can also, if I want, import patient questionnaire, and I can edit here too, so that I don't have to reinvent the wheel. And it looks like most EMR systems. You can choose, by the way, when you click questionnaires, you can choose the vertical list, so it really looks like Epic and stuff, which I hate how these things look, but it's all vertical now. You know how these reports go for pages? So depending on what you want it to look like and how short you want this audiogram / report to be, you choose how you want this to look, okay? You can add in extra stuff. Let's say it's an auditory processing kiddo and you pulled in this history, but you want to add some extra stuff that mom mentioned. You can narrate here in this screen, okay? So we can go back to that main screen where later on you can go into the results. Tell me if you guys already know this stuff.
I don't know.
Usually the first one you click on, it automatically, if you did Temps and you did pure tones and things like that, it pulls in there. If you did your OAEs, you have to just choose what the results were, in spite of the fact that you're going to enter this. OAEs were consistent with normal hearing, let's say, right? let's go back to main screen. Okay, so here's the story. None of my, oh, that's not true. I have one Oracle audiometer that I take to the senior communities that is incorporated right into NOAA. So then I'll just pull from NOAA, I'll push it into CounselEar for my test results. But in my 2 offices, I have GSI 61 set up. So instead of having a pen and paper, I have the audiometer going with one hand, and I'm clicking on the audiometer with my other hand with the laptop open. So I only have to enter in this audiogram once. And like Brian Urban says, save again, save some more, keep saving. Because you don't want to, you know, screw stuff up. And don't do like I did where I've got like 3 laptops going and it lost my data because I don't know which one saved last. So stay with that one and just hold it, carry it around the office, you know. So we're going to do an audiogram real quick. So we've tested her hearing. Usually I personally, because I have 9 years of my career was with peds, so I always start with speech. Not true. I start with Temps. So you start here and you choose which audiometer. What was the method? Was it inserts? Was it super oral, right? I go to my Temps. You can choose what type, you know, and you put in this stuff. And then I don't know why they have it all the way over here, but reflexes, real quick, if let's say it's conductive, but you went through, or this person, like yesterday, this woman, history of ear infections as a child, history of always never really hearing that great or whatever, and she had absent reflexes across the board. They were actually the positive movements. Instead of manually going absent, absent, blah, 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 or let's say they were 95 across the board, you totally scored, you know, you can choose absent all. I went onto it. That's weird. Okay, normally it'll just change them all. Let's do this one. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, that's what happens. When it comes to speech audiometry, I don't know if Brian just doesn't want to get political because he's like such a nice guy. I don't know if he'll ever see this video someday, but I highly doubt, I hope not. But speech reception thresholds, or is it speech recognition threshold?
Reception.
Basically, speech audiometry is your reception threshold, okay? Or recognition, whatever you want to call it. And you can choose ID'd body parts, ID'd Spanish, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you're going to put their threshold here, right? When you go to word recognition, this is where you have like your NU6 list or whatever you guys choose, right? And you just have the kids list here, which is nice. And even the Whippy. So if you do close that. Anyway, so you choose the level that you presented at, and then you put it in the percentage, blah, 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 and we move forward, right? So let's say that this person, it was 50, they got 100% correct. The other side was the same, and I'm gonna do this just so you see it with the billing, okay? So most comfortable listening level was 50. Their thresholds were like 15, let's say, for the right and the left ear, okay? Bone conduction, you can choose unspecified if it's a little kid and you don't know, and it'll just put that caret, or you can, you know, actually do right versus left ear, masked versus unmasked. If you accidentally click in the wrong spot, just click delete, hover over it, and delete it, okay? You guys got this, right? You know all this stuff. Okay, so let's go back. So now let's go back to our main screen. In here, edit results. It already, remember it was yellow before? It put in this was a mild flat sensory neural hearing loss. I can, if I say, no, it wasn't, that was totally conductive. I can go back down here and choose, was this mixed, was it sensory neural? I can override what I'm looking at, okay? Or the way I interpreted these test results, okay? Normally I would do a mast here. You guys get this, right? Okay, so moving forward super fast. So this person is an international lawyer. She can't hear in the courtroom, especially with women. She's begging me to fit her with hearing aids in spite of the fact she has this like mild hearing loss. Okay. Real quick, I'm gonna go down. I've completed my history, test results. I should probably put that, international lawyer, blah, blah, blah. Edit recommendations. Based on concerns, CounselEar already chose, oh, she's got tinnitus, and already put this strategy of try to avoid silence, blah, blah, blah. Already said because she has positional vertigo, she's a falls risk. Already put that in there, kind of nice. For follow-up for this person, I'm gonna say follow-up with either, if we already have the referring physician in here, I can just do this and I'll put in that person's name in the report. If there's any change, obviously we wanna see them for whatever it is. Consideration of amplification and then utilize strategies to help place yourself well, right? I can choose here, which mine are already default. CounselEar kind of learns with you and will set what you tend to like and create a pattern. And so I always have it, please put this on the patient report. Does everybody know what the patient report looks like? No? Okay. So basically it's the functional audiogram. So I'm gonna have all these on that also. So let's go to that. And this is great for counseling. I'll show it to you in a moment, big, but it's basically, do you guys remember, I don't know how old some of you guys are, but back in the day, we used to, like when I was working at Temple Children's Hospital, we bought these big tablets. They were kind of long and they were different colors. And some of them were smaller and some were bigger, depending on the type of hearing loss, but it was like no hearing loss with ear infections, right? And it would say, it was basically for the school and the parents to understand what ramifications this kid could incur. And then there was mild hearing loss, moderate, severe, profound. And it described how they could have problems. Brian incorporated that in here. So if we go back to the main screen, up here, here's your patient report. Professional report, patient report. So the professional report has been building for you. I didn't put in the temps, so I'm gonna have to do that because otherwise it's not gonna let me bill for that. There's a big space here because I deleted something. Normally it would come right back up here. Anyway, all your strategies are here, recommendations and things like that. And it opens it in a different screen so you can print it. I can go back and say, wait a minute, oops. I always check before I send. Okay, sorry, I'm sorry. Go to the regular patient report. Okay, edit. Real fast, I'm just gonna say type A audiograms. So it'll make sense. And then also, what did I do? I screened for OAEs because I remarked on that, but you can choose what kind of OAEs you had and was this diagnostic, multi-frequency, or is it just screening pass fail? And you can do that for right and left also. Okay, absent, reduced, blah, blah, blah. All right. In this screen, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, if you don't want all this stuff displayed, you can choose if you want acoustic reflexes present or not. If you want to tighten this up to a nice, short, complete report, you can take out a lot of this stuff if you don't want it, okay? You can override what the report date is. If you're a little delayed on your reports and you want everything to match up, you can make sure everything matches up, okay? Okay, so, here's from that. Let's edit this. This is where that big blank was. Okay, let's go back. Okay, so let's go up to patient report and see what that looks like now. So I use this for my counseling. I'm like, okay, here's the story. This is why you're struggling. Everything in gray you might be missing when someone talks normally. If it's a big guy and he's shouting, you might hear this stuff. But for the little people, if you're a preschool teacher, you could have a hard time, you know, or the women in that courtroom and they're across the courtroom and you're missing them. It automatically puts in what you could be experiencing. I make sure the physicians get a copy of this too, because most of them have no idea how to read an audiogram. Plus it's pretty, it's in color, it's awesome, right? So we have our professional report, which we can also send, blah, blah, blah. So straight away, if I have all this done, I make sure, we have big folders. The patients, I tell them as they're walking out of the booth, I'm gonna make sure you get a copy today of your hearing test results. I'm gonna make sure your doctor gets a copy. We are not hiding anything. Right there, I have already instilled so much trust because the guy down the street said he wasn't allowed to have his hearing test results. So I'm making sure I print. If I know everything's good, I can go to actions. Oh, wait, hold on. Who's my referring doctor? You can start, let's say you have a new doctor, you put it in, and then make sure that you add them to the list, and the category might be under A, let's say. So that later on it's Dr. Alvarez, let's say, and you find A for Alvarez, right? Anyway, let's say, oh gosh, how am I gonna do this? I'm not gonna really do this, but Dr. Ahmed, let's say, okay? Let's say I say Dr. Ahmed is the referring physician. Now that I'm done, I can do send report. I'm gonna choose a professional report and the patient report, which is their functional audiogram. And I'm gonna choose fax, and I'm gonna click send, which I am not going to, because he's gonna be like, what the hell is this? I don't even know this person. Testy. But anyway, then they'll send it. And then when that happens, the screen will go black, and then it comes back to this. This is a HIPAA secured fax through CounselEar. This is not your fax machine. If the fax fails, you will get an email that says fax failed. But if you forgot because you're multitasking, and you're like, wait a minute, did I hit send or not? Because the screen's still there. You can send it again, but let's go back to the main screen. Just watch it, yes, it's sent, because then down here, there's gonna be this audit trail, I believe, somewhere around here. It's gonna show that you sent the fax to the doctor. Oh, you know why it's not here? Because I didn't do it. But it'll show here that you faxed it to the doctor, okay? So now I've tested the patient, I completed the report, I printed out their copy, I sent a copy to the doctor. Now I'm gonna come back to this first screen, and I'm going to click auto calculate codes. And all that stuff populates. They were dizzy, we've got all the right diagnosis codes there. Even if you're participating in MIPS, which I'm not required to right now. And it creates all this stuff. Let's say I say, oh no, I did reflexes. Remember, they were absent, and for some reason it didn't do. I need to go back in, correct that, come back, and make sure I get credit, because this would be temp and reflexes, and make a whole extra $15 if I'm lucky, right? Okay, so now I'm still leaving this right now. Or let's say we're talking and they're like, yeah, I want to do a demo, or right, I'm ready. I can leave open and I'm going to say, okay, it's demo, or they were asymmetrical, weren't they? So let's go to medical review. This way it holds them out there. There's a widget on the dashboard where I can keep track of this and make sure, hey, this person isn't converted yet, and it's affecting my results. But it's just a way that you don't forget about these people, okay? If I'm gonna put them in a demo in a little bit, I'll put it there. Or later on in the day, or later on next week or something like that, I'm like, oh, my reports look weird. Oh, that's right, I gotta go in here and change this. Anyway, from here, I'm going to create a new invoice. And because I started out in the schedule, it already knows what appointment I'm in. Everything's already lined up. It's really important from this point forward that you get this stuff right. Otherwise, you're going to have to delete and restart your invoice. If you think you're going to put hearing aids on this, you're going to have to make sure if there are tax rates for the hearing aids different than like batteries or something, you're going to have to put it in here now. If something doesn't, let's say it's a service and it doesn't have a tax, it's okay, you can leave it. But we only did services today. I never sell on the day that I fit, or that I fit. The day that I test, I'm like, I need you to like try out the hearing aids. Let's just slow this down. Plus it makes everything nice and clean. I want to make sure the doctor gets a copy. If any, if there's, I'm waiting for a medical clearance, who knows what. So for me, right now it's tax exempt. Our state taxes everything and we're still in debt. It's terrible. Anyway, so I need to change this to insurance because we're going to build their insurance policy. They are not paid because obviously. So now I have this all set up. I'm going to click save. And it then takes me to the next tab, line items. Since I did everything on that first screen, I'm just going to import Superbill. And everything's there. Then I'm going to skip over payments because we're going through insurance, right? We're going to submit, see what they get. So I'm going to go to claims and I'm going to start a new claim. And I make sure, yep, things are entered. If no one has entered in their insurance yet, this stuff's blank and I'm like, oh, I gotta wait, because let's say I saw someone on a Wednesday night and we were in and out of here, whatever, like I didn't have support staff or something, and this will remind me, oh, that's right. We have to make sure we go back into the insurance screen and put the insurance in the right way. If they have Medicare and they have a secondary, Medicare will pop up and then it'll ask, do they have another benefit? You click yes. It repopulates, it comes to another screen, and then let's say it'll show Medicare, and let's say Blue Cross Blue Shield. Choose Blue Cross Blue Shield. All of that will populate, and then you move forward. And then you keep moving forward, and then here's where that doctor's here. If you had an order, everything's already in there for you. The diagnosis codes are there. We go to the next screen. All of my procedures that I did are here and the units, and then I go next. I just leave this one alone. I go next, and this is where I say submit to clearinghouse only Apex submissions. I click save, it's gone. That's it, I'm done. We tried this past fall upon someone's recommendations because I thought, I don't know, I just thought maybe there'd be something better than Apex. Apex was really good in the beginning and then they kind of faltered. Now they're back, they're better. But there was a group that was like, oh, well, you're gonna give us permission. We're gonna go in and you have to make sure everything's in PDF form and blah, blah, blah. And they were going to, I stopped them like at the 11th hour. They were gonna take all of our stuff and re-enter everything into their thing. And they constantly, before we even set up everything, they were already emailing like constantly all day long saying, you didn't do this and we don't see that and that's not there. And we're like, no, it's there. It was so frustrating. Apex actually does make your life easier as long as everything's set up well. So I am going to go back and I'm going to trash this because I'm not going to send it through. Okay, now let's say it's a new day. And let's go into invoices. Oh, a couple things. You can save or go back to patient administration. If you want to get out of something really fast, double click on their name and you're just going to leave that screen. And you can always just go back to the main screen for that patient. Okay. So let's create an invoice for hearing aids. Let's say I've already seen them and suddenly the family calls and they're like, I'm ready. I want to order hearing aids. I talked to my doctor, he's faxing over, blah, blah, blah. Let's just create hearing aids. Like, we don't even have an appointment yet. We're just going to create the invoice. From that, I'm going to click new invoice. Or if I have an appointment for hearing aids, let's say they're coming, this is a totally different day, but they're going to come in for, to discuss hearing aids. We're just going to do hearing aid eval. Follow up.
Do you always put a referral in there?
Ours is required. Yeah, we always want to know where do they come from because otherwise you can talk to the person. And so if the referral, if it's someone you've already seen and you don't want it to keep tracking, it's not a new true hearing patient every time. It's a follow-up after that initial one. So after that, you just do follow-up, and then they just go into this basket of follow-ups. You want to know who your new people are and where your marketing dollars are going, you know? Okay, so let's say we're going to go to test. This person did come in, and they want to order new blah, blah, blahs, you know, the latest blah, blah, blahs. And from here, I can create a new invoice. And for us, it's going to be the medical tax rate because they're going to order hearing aids and their insurance doesn't cover anything. So I'm going to make it private payer. And it's not paid right now. But, or they're like, they just, you know, blah, blah, blah. Let's say we take ear mold impressions and I want them to know how much they're going to pay next time. I can make this a quote, or if they just want to, like, who knows if they're a shop or whatever. If you make it as a quote, it doesn't count towards your units for that month yet. You're just creating a quote. You can go into that invoice later and change it to not paid or whatever, you know? So, okay, this person's ordering, so I'm going to click save because I have it all set up in the beginning the first way. And now, this is the way I do it, folks. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the right way. Some people I know go to devices and start creating the hearing aids that they want to order in devices first, and then they pull it into here. I've had some hiccups, we've had some problems with that. So I personally am going to go to a hearing aid. And what are we going to order, folks? I just started twitching. Let's choose, I don't know, they don't make verses anymore. I got to clean this stuff up, don't I? Darky 3 series are still out there. Let's say Unitron Fit 800 Superpowers. I am going to have one for each ear. So I'm gonna, so this one, it started it out. I don't have serial numbers yet. If you already have stock stuff, you can start putting in all the information. It's new, the delivery date. If you know you're gonna deliver it next Friday, put in the fitting date, delivery date. If you know from that date, the trial period is gonna be 45 days, and you're gonna give them a 4-year warranty for your loss and damage, color, blah, blah, blah. You can start filling that in. I'm going to, on purpose, screw this up so I can show you guys how to fix some stuff so your purchase agreement works, okay? So let's do, what did we say? Unitron, Moxie, Fit, Superpower, 800, right? Okay, I'm gonna say, if you already have something entered in under devices, you can choose it. If you have stock and they're already entered in under stock, you can grab that device. This is where you could do that if you wanted. I go from this point fresh. It's a new thing, and let's say I think they're gonna be fit on the 20th for this device. And 45 days trial period is what I give them. 48 months for blah, 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 right? Okay. Now notice the hearing aid, the date that I'm putting here is today. I put 2 different dates for the fitting dates for these hearing aids. Our purchase agreement is going to be a mess, and sometimes this happens, and that's okay. Now before I'm finished, I'm gonna import bundle. This is where you guys know, my big thing. Okay, so first of all, let's say they wanna buy hearing aids from me, which just happened recently. She wants to buy hearing aids from me, but she knows she just sold her house and she's moving to Houston, Texas. But she goes, but honey, I really like you. I'm buying my hearing aids from you. So I imported the bundle. She goes, I want you to get as much money as you can. I'm like, this is the sweetest thing ever. So here are my hearing aids. If they did demos, I can take this line item out. Did they pay for it? Am I going to comp them for it? Whatever. Dispensing fee. I'm doing reeler measurement that day. I'm going to show them how to use them. And they get 3 follow-up visits at $65 rate rather than the $130 for their follow-up visits. These are programming codes. Like the procedure codes, CPT codes are for the programming. Okay. So if they walk away and I never see them after those 3 visits, this is their amount, okay? If they say, no, 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 I'm gonna be a pain in your ass. I wanna come in as much as I can. I want everything bundled, blah, blah, blah. Bundled membership is here. This is technically 3 years worth. Or if they say, honey, I'm not gonna live more than a year. They just wanna do a 1 year, fine. We do the bundled. I add that, and all that populates. So I've guesstimated how many times they're gonna need me, how many batteries they're gonna need, all that kind of stuff, right? So here's your sum total. Okay, so we all know I made a mistake, but I didn't realize it yet, which is fine. I'm gonna hit save. I'm gonna go back to patient administration. Let's say it's the day of the fitting. Or they're like, I wanna see everything you told me is true. I'm like, no problem, I've got paperwork for that. So let me go back to the regular page. I'm gonna go to actions and form documents. Okay? This is where I, behind the scenes, had already created my purchase agreement. You put in the verbiage that your state requires. You put in anything else that you want it to say, all that kind of stuff, right? So I have 2 here. I entered in the ABN just to make my life easier. This is one thing that we could do, you know, if you already have it under the form document. Anyway, so right now we're gonna go to purchase agreement. And then you have a choice. Do you want them to sign right away if you have a Topaz safety card? Do you want them to see it online and then they can sign on your screen and you can save paper that way and print? Or are you just gonna download it as a PDF? Normally we just download as a PDF and it creates the purchase agreement. Now I was at a Phonak thing a couple years ago and I loved how they said, look, this should be about you. This should not be about the hearing aids. And it used to start out, all it showed was the devices right away. There was nothing at the top. It just showed their name and here's the devices. They're like, this should not be about the devices. So I was like, they're right. So I say, congratulations on your choice to improve your life in hearing. This is a journey that we'll be walking through together. Our audiologist will be with you to provide you the expertise that you need so you can hear for years to come. Thank you for entrusting your care. Like straight away, we're talking about this is the whole package. Congratulations to you.
I like that.
The first thing they see is you bought hearing aids. So the hearing aids are here. The serial numbers are here. Look at my repair warranty is now wrong. Sides are different. My trial period would be wrong. The repair warranty, which one is it grabbing? We don't know. Things are just not right because I'm like, oh crap, I didn't do this right. If they were fit on the 20th, their trial period should be 45 days later. Anyway, so you can look at this and go, wait a minute, I didn't put the battery in. Wait, I forgot the L&D. You can just scrap this and go back and change your purchase agreement. I have everything here so they know, and I try to tell them these are absolutes, but if it's unbundled, this is actually infinity. I just want you to know I'm going to minimally be seeing you this much. We have a place for them if they wanted to sign a waiver, if they don't have a medical clearance, they can sign here and sign here. If they want to complain about me, I say, please call the department. They're really nice, and you know, whatever. So this is the purchase agreement. So this did not go well. I'm like, oh no, I screwed up. So I got to go back to the invoice. Here's how you can make your life really easy. The purchase agreement was based on all of that stuff, the procedures that we didn't do yet was based on today. If I want everything to be for that fitting date, which is the 20th, I'm going to go to that first page. Oh, sorry, it was Friday the 15th.
15th, yeah.
Yeah, right. I'm going to go to the 15th. I'm going to click save. It's -9 days. That's when everything, the clock starts ticking. If I go here, now everything is for the 15th. Okay. If I go to the exact item, let's say the hearing aids just arrived and it's 4 days before the fitting. I can go in and make sure that I have everything right. I'm going to put their serial numbers in. I'm going to mark which ear. I'm going to do da 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 da. I'm going to make sure I give a 45-day trial period. If I click that, that shouldn't change, which because it's set right.
Based on the 15th.
Some people, we have a debate constantly in our office. My office, so I chose, you know. The purchase agreement, or I'm sorry, the manufacturer's invoice might say June of 2019 or June of 2023 or something like that. And we put in the manufacturer's exact repair warranty and L&D, or do we make it easier and just say it's going to be like 4 years from now or 3 years from now or 2 years from now? I found that stuff happens like right after, let's say it's 1 day after someone's warranty went out, and that's when the thing died. And then we call and we're like, oh my gosh, can we negotiate with the manufacturer and stuff? Can we say, hey, I'm so sorry, but they just went out, you know, blah, 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 whatever. I found that how nice is it that your warranty is going to be up, and then let's say they stall, they delay, and suddenly something happens and we need to send it in. We have a buffer of like 2 months actually, where we're like, holy crap, we can still, you're out of warranty, but look, actually, we're able to do something for you, you know? Or this way, if the warranty letter we forgot, something screwed up, there was a hiccup in our office, we didn't send it out, and they're upset with us, and we're like, oh, actually, we're good. We still have a few more weeks, days, whatever, before the warranty goes out. I think it's just easier if they look at this and all the dates line up. The day of the fitting, you've got 4 years from that point. That way, if you're bundling them, the day of all of their services goes to that date. Everything just lines up nice. And if you get a bonus extra few weeks or months for their warranties, then it's a bonus. Because there's some companies, they give you, like Starkey will give you an extra like 2 to 3 weeks, whereas Phonak gives you 3 months, you know? And I can't bank on that. So I'm just gonna do it based on the day of the fitting.
I like that idea, Dawn. I've never thought about it.
Yeah, it makes my life easy because I can just click how many months out, and I don't have to,
you don't have to be typing in.
And yeah, and then they're going, why is this day different than this day? And you're like, yeah, right, that doesn't make sense. So, okay, so now that I've updated things, I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna make sure, oh, yep, right ear's there, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm gonna do this one. I have to make sure real quick because the serial numbers came in. Now it's left ear, here's their serial number, XYZ, yada, yada, yada. Let's say at last minute they called us and they want rechargeable. But it's V-Power that I can add on. We have under batteries, we have a line item for, or no, I'm sorry, we changed that. It's under accessory. Battery recharger with battery. So you get that package thing. We're gonna add that on real quick. And now this date is different because it's of today. See that? And I kind of want that rechargeable thing. I want it to go to the top. So I'm going to bring it down 1. And I'm going to bring it down 2, just because I'm OCD and I want my purchase agreement to look good. So now I'm going to go back to that first page. And I'm going to make sure that we do the fitting for that date, and I'm going to save. Let's go back to line items really fast and check. Oh, this one's still the 6th. Okay, so I got to go back to that day and change the date up here to the 15th. Just look at everything and make sure things make sense, okay? So that your purchase agreement isn't all squirrely and weird. Okay, so now let's go back to patient administration. Let's go to actions. We're gonna go to form document. We're gonna go to purchase agreement, download the PDF, and there's our serial numbers, the right ear, the left ear, the battery is correct. Ooh, should have chosen 312R.
So Dawn, if you, you don't have the he's not going to sign on your screen and you don't have the topaz thing. So you would actually print this, he would sign it or she would sign it, and then you're going to scan it back in?
Yep. So I say you get the original, which again instills even more trust.
Right, yeah.
Scan a copy in, you get the original. That goes into their folder. We have that patient journey. I showed you guys that, right? Where the day, this is a starting point. This is, I want them to know that this is a long-term process and this is how we're going to work with you. And you guys can make up your own journey where if you don't do demos, you're saying, look, the day of the fitting, this is what's going to happen. The day, the next 3 visits, this is what's going to happen. Here's your homework. This is what you're going to work on. All this stuff keeps going into their folder. My rack card goes in the folder. It has a quick bio of me, and on the backside has the fees real quick. So if they are a true hearing patient or something, or someone's unbundled, they know when they come in for a clean check, this is how much it's going to cost. And they've got their folder and they come back and forth with their bag and their folder,
Okay.
So this way you are their audiologist, you are their expert, and it's not about the hearing aids anymore. There's all this other stuff. There are functional audiograms in there, and nobody else is doing this.
No, I like that.
And who do we have to thank? Brian Urban. He made this so easy. Just because I have people complete their online forms, we're constantly getting thank yous. This is so great. I wish all my doctor's offices did this, because if it's an elderly person and the daughter called to make the appointment and she's the one with the email, she can take 4 hours with her mom if she wants to fill out that form, or she can do it on her own, or mom can just show up and she's in California and everything, the POA is already signed, everything's good, and they don't have to worry about hand signing stuff, because we used to get so many bitchy complaints, excuse my language, but oh my god, I gotta fill this out. When it's just and if they can't fill it out online, we have those Chromebooks, and if the patient care coordinator needs to sit with them and do it, fine. I tell them if they're going to do that stuff, let them sign the release forms, sign all that kind of stuff, everything that needs to be signed out there. I will do the history in here. You don't need to ask them about cancer and all that, because that's a HIPAA violation. They don't need to talk about that out in the area. And I'm going to ask it anyway. Make sense? Any questions? I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, you can ask below, instant message me, email me, and I can try to help you out. Otherwise, I will be sending you to support desk at CounselEar. Have a great day. Bye-bye.